Desert Driftwood Gaming has a question. He says he's getting married in June, and he wants to incorporate some items from his military service into his kilt kit. And so he wants to know, would it be all right to swap the buttons on an Argyle jacket for USMC dress blue buttons?
Are they gold or silver? Do we know?
They're probably gold.
Yeah.
On the dress blues, they're gold.
Yeah.
And the other thing he wanted to ask in conjunction to that, he was going to wear some ribbons and a couple other rewards for his service.
Sure. There's a few different ways to incorporate military, meaning, symbolism into your kilt outfit, if you like. The buttons, if they're gold, and I'm not 100% positive, but I'm 80% that they're gold. The rest of the outfit typically is going to be silver. So if you have a problem with the look of mixing the brass or gold buttons and the silver buckles on the kilt and kilt pin and buckles and that kind of thing, it may prove a little problematic for you. If you don't care, have at it. Other things you can do for your mini medals, wear them according to military regulation on the Argyle jacket. Other symbolism you can incorporate. We have a, not to be product heavy, but we have a kilt pin for each of the branches of service. We have a belt buckle for each of the branches of service. We have a day sporran, and we're developing a dress sporran or semi-dress sporran with the badge on it as well. So there's a few different ways you can incorporate it. Another way is get a military tartan kilt. So if you're a U.S. Marine, then wear the U.S. Marine Corps leatherneck tartan, and that would be one way to honor your military service without having to do the rest of the stuff if you didn't want to.
Yeah, or you may have a tartan kilt for a clan, and you're trying to both show the family heritage as well as the military service heritage. Service heritage? I don't know. The decorations are, in a way, the easiest part. You will find in your regs specifications on where you should place ribbons or full medals on like a tuxedo or a dress mess uniform, and you basically go off of those and make it fit the shape and lapel of the jacket that you're using, the Argyle jacket. I believe it's similar regs apply for all this stuff in the sense that you do not wear full medals after 6. Full medals are for daytime only, and then the mini ribbons are for a formal occasion in the evening, if I remember correctly. But you should be able to look up without too much trouble the official regulations on where to place those ribbons, and that's acceptable. I personally would not go with changing out the buttons on the jacket. It's a neat idea, but I think in this way, in a sense, less is more. In a sense, I think the ribbons, they're really the most important factor. They're what really speaks to what you've accomplished. So I would go with that and not worry too much about modifying the garment. I think it would look like you're trying too hard. Basically, keep it simple and elegant. I mean, yeah, incorporate some other Marine Corps elements into the outfit if you want to, like a kilt pin or what have you. But yeah, I think the ribbons are really the focus.
I would also point that. Yeah, I would also point this out. If you put on the buttons, make sure that they are the same width as the buttons that are on the jacket already to make sure they work through buttonholes.
I was thinking that too, because I think they're actually larger.
And 2, if you put them on and then later on decide that you want to switch back, it's more of a hassle. So if you have to sew them all on, or I don't know if they're post and pin with the washer on the back, or how they are affixed to the jacket, but you're doubling your work if you end up flipping them back.
I'll give one last thought is that we have had instances where people wanted to combine military decorations with a fly plaid, in which case it's hard to do gracefully. And this is not something you'll find in any regulations, but we do often tell people it's not very conventional, but you can put the ribbons on the opposite breast from where the fly plaid is, so they don't compete visually.
Or
so
flip the fly plaid. I'd almost do that before the medals.
Okay, you could. That's true. I mean, there's really it's just convention that has the fly plaid on your left shoulder.
If you're doing this, you're kind of making it up anyway. So,
a bit. Yeah. I would say I think the reason the fly plaid goes on the left is because most people are right hand, right arm dominant. So if you're right-handed, having the fly plaid on the shoulder may feel a little awkward, like it's getting in your way. But we've had people do both. I've had people put the ribbons on and put the fly plaid on at the same time, and they move the ribbons down or something. It just looks a little crowded. But yeah, I'm flipping the fly plaid or the ribbons, one or the other.
I would say this: it's too much for fly plate and ribbons. I would do one or the other, not both.
Okay.
It's in that particular instance, less is more.
I don't disagree.
Yep,
I don't disagree. I have seen people use dress uniform belts as a kilt belt sometimes, and they're a little skinny. But that's another thing I've seen people do, where they use the uniform belt with the kilt.
Okay.
So it's much more than that kind of thing, and you get into a bit where you are disrespecting the uniform. So we do not usually recommend people wear, say, like the dress blues tunic with a kilt. That gets some people weirded out. So I'd say putting the military decoration elements onto standard Highland dress is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, anytime you're mixing official military reg stuff with Highland wear, it's you're breaking conventions, period.
Yeah.
So it's people can get their hackles up a bit, no pun intended.